Hey guys, Tracer here, and I'm going to be doing a quick orbit cinematography tutorial and go over with you guys the process I go through when recording my light shows. Now the first tip I have for you guys is camera placement. I know not everyone has tripods and a nice camera setup, but I mean, you guys can definitely get creative. When I first started recording light shows, I would take my phone and if it was too low on a desk, I would grab a stack of books and then prop up my camera up against, find something to prop my camera up against just to get a little bit of that angle. But for those of you guys with GoPros and tripods and stuff like that, I would definitely recommend setting your tripod a little higher up and aiming your camera downward. For me right now, my camera's actually at eye level with me, and I have my camera aimed towards my chest because generally speaking, at least for most of us, the center of us when we're orbiting is around our torso. The next thing I do is actually get some tape and find out where my center is. Now in order to do that, what I'll do is turn on my camera and drop a straight line of tape behind me once I figure out that center point. That way, for those of you guys who are still getting used to recording, you kind of have a guideline around you in which to go. I know sometimes people, move around side to side, so having that line of tape there is a nice way to keep yourself centered. Once I do that, I actually have little tick marks across the tape. I don't know if you can see this right here, but what I do there is I drop a line of tape across so that I have a marker for myself for when I do my short string, my liquids, my grids, cradles and stuff like that when I want to get close to the camera. And then once I start doing bigger moves such as traces and flares which drop down, I'll take a step back to the next line of tape so that you can see, all the way down towards my knees. If I was to do flares or bounce things off my knee, stuff like that. Now, after you've picked your spot, I kind of break down recording locations into two. Whether you're recording in a corner or up against a flat space such as in the center of a big room. The reason why I break them down into two categories is because it requires me to take inventory of the lighting I have around me. For people who have nice big spaces to record, you do need a little bit more lighting to kind of create an ambience for where you're recording. So if I was recording in a bigger space, generally speaking, I would like to have a light source in my back right and at my back left. And if I'm recording in a corner, it's pretty easy. I can set one light source behind me, and if it's in the corner, you can have the light beam up through the corner and spread out here to diffuse and have a nice, or create a nice silhouette effect. In terms of lighting, I do my lighting on a budget. So for you guys who have laptops, tablets, Poi even, you got to get creative with that as well. I've even one time taken my orbits that I wasn't using in a light show and popped them underneath a light shade and had like a strobing little lampshade behind me just to create more light. Right now, I've been using my laptop a lot. What I'll do is place my laptop down behind me and actually aim my screen up against the wall. I know it's a pet peeve for a lot of people who watch light shows, but seeing your computer screen blast the camera can get kind of annoying, and especially because, say, if your computer's over here and your orbit comes across or crosses paths with your computer screen, it bleeds out your orbit and you can't really see what you're doing. So I usually just take my laptop, place it to the highest intensity, and aim it towards the wall so that it can spread out through the corner, but also create a nice silhouette effect. So your foreground's a lot darker, and it's helpful for people to focus on the orbit, but also you won't lose any of what you're doing in terms of your extra arm motions and some of the showmanship things you do. The last tip I probably have is be mindful of what color sets you're using or flashing patterns you're using based on the lighting you have set up. Now, if you are shooting in a place where there's quite a bit of light, it's hard for those dots and those shadows to show up on a camera screen or in the video. So I generally try to tone down my lighting a bit if I'm doing a nice low tint, like very dopsy kind of pattern. But you know, if you can't control your lighting and you're in a slightly brighter place, I would definitely suggest sticking to ribbons or hyperstrobes and the like so that it's brighter and louder. Same thing goes with music festivals. When you're giving a light show to a person, you know, if there's a lot of lights around you, then definitely use the brighter patterns so that your orbit doesn't get lost in the environment around you. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about this in terms of, you know, placement or how to frame the show, feel free to ask me a couple of questions. I'm sorry I haven't been doing as many tutorials lately, but I'm trying to make that a resolution and post more content. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up, and I hope this was really helpful. Thanks.